In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how I want you to practice the post-it note game. This is a foundational game for loose lead walking. I'm practicing it in my garden because it's quite a hot day today, but what I would like you to do is practice it indoors at home. It doesn't need to be as big as this if you haven't got enough room. I've got 9 positions laid out behind me, but you don't need to have as many as that, and I would probably start with fewer to begin with. All you're going to need is you're going to need your dog, either on their collar or on their harness, with a fixed length lead attached. This is a fairly short one that I wouldn't normally walk Lyra on, but it's just for demonstration purposes. You need some post-it notes or something similar to mark out the positions, and you'll need a pouch with your treats in, just some very nice little small treats, size of your fingernail, like I normally recommend. As you can see, I have 9 post-it notes out on the ground here. I have placed them approximately 2 of my normal steps apart. They're not strides, they're just my normal steps, so I want them fairly close to begin with because we want what we call a high rate of reinforcement. So we're giving the dog a reward in rapid succession for them doing what we want. The other thing we need to have a little chat about is holding the lead. So I'm right-handed, and it's easier for me to have my pouch on the right-hand side where my right hand is. And then I'll have the lead through the handle in my left hand like that. But I've also got my right hand for control. Now, when Lyra's walking, my lead will be across the front of me, but I find that easier than reaching to the other side to get my treats out. It just flows a little bit better. But obviously if you're left-handed or you prefer to hold your lead in your right hand, then you may need to adjust where you're going to have your pouch. So the other thing you might need is you might need a clicker. I prefer to use a clicker, but if you taught your dog a marker word like yes or good, basically the word that predicts that a treat is coming, you can use that instead. Now, these are quite close together and the grass is a little bit damp, so they are moving around, but it will give you an idea of what I want to demonstrate. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is I want Lyra's lead to be in a nice loose J shape. So as I walk along the line, as I get to each post-it note, if she's walking towards me, I will click and I will place the treat on the ground. If you were using your marker word, you would say yes, place the treat on the ground, and then immediately start walking on to the next one. And as Lyra starts coming with me, I will then repeat the process. So I'll just show you what I mean. You ready, Lyra? So they're quite close together, these post-it notes, so we're not going a huge distance. We'll turn around and go the other way. Sorry, darling. Good girl. Okay, good girl. Can you sit? Good girl. You there? So I'd like you to practice that a couple of times, and then when you're walking up and down the line without your dog pulling forward or lagging behind you, then what I'm going to do is we're going to move on to the next phase. Now I'm going to do it now and demonstrate it all in this video, but obviously this could be after a few sessions or a week or a couple of weeks before you move on. I think you will move on with this quite quickly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Lyra a couple of treats, tea on the ground, and then I'm going to pick up every other post-it note. So now we've got a much bigger distance between them, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking for Lyra to be walking with a nice loose lead. I don't want her next to me looking up at me. She might do because she likes treats, but I want a nice loose lead, and then I'm going to practice my placement of the treats, treat to the heel, and I'm going to see if we can keep it nice and flowing. So I'm actually just going to have the treats in my hand this time. I don't normally, but I'm going to this time, just so that it keeps it flowing, and because it's slowing me down a little bit. Okay, but she knows the treats are there now. A couple for her there. Thank you, Lyra. Give it another go, see if we can keep it flowing a bit more. Okay, and a few treats. So we've got one more stage, and that's removing the little poster. Okay, so we've now literally got our start and our beginning left. Now Lyra has done this before, so we have cheated slightly. But essentially where Lyra is walking is what you're aiming for. Now if they go ahead a little bit and you've still got a loose lead, I'm happy with that. I'm not asking for a heel, I don't want an obedience heel. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach your dog that the rewards happen here. So in this kind of imaginary area around you, this is where the good stuff happens. So this is the place to hang out. So that's mine and Lyra's demonstration of how to play the post-it note game. She did very well. We didn't do perfectly. I don't think my treat placement position was perfect every time, but I think it's good to see that, to know that you don't have to be perfect. and you will still get where you want. Okay, happy trading.